All right, now here we go. Welcome everyone to the Red or Green Books, the final launch event for the 2024 debut poets. We're very, very excited to be introducing 10 debut authors this year at Red or Green Books. We have Edward Galt, Sarah Doolittle, Jeremy Hickson, the poet Rose Gold, Torrin V, Kaylee Mary McAllister, Zachary Sakati, Quinn Collar, Laura Lila, and Amanda Win. We do have a few absences today, so my deepest apologies for those who are looking forward to hearing from some of the poets who might not be here today. But you can always go back and watch their features. Also, most of you have had a feature at The Word Is Right. If you have not had a feature yet at The Word Is Right, you can go to the spreadsheet and sign up, or just come and see me for that. And we'll get you that. All right, so today is a blind draw. There are one, two, three, four, five. I see five debut poets in the room. So we can go, take 12, 15 minutes even is fine. If you would like to do a longer set, you're welcome to do that because we are missing a handful of poets today. So you all can bask in the glory of being able to promote you and your book and have a little extra time today. So we'll go 12 to 15 minutes. I'll keep track of time. If you need to know how much time you have left, I'll let you know. And we'll go from there. I don't believe, well, let me see, because I know last time Edward was at work. Edward, are you at work today, or are you in okay, good. So you're in a place. And I do apologize. My chair hydraulics is failing and it likes to go psh. So I'll start here and I may finish like way down, so I might adjust that a couple of times during the show today. I hope it's not too distracting. All right, some ground rules, right? This is a live poetry reading. You can hear anything at any time from any of these poets. There is no censorship on the show. They are welcome to use profanity, say fucking shit, and all those great wonderful words. The only thing that we do not allow at any time in this room is any sort of hate speech, whether you are a poet who's performing today or you are someone in the audience. We do not tolerate any sort of hate speech. If you're constantly keeping your mics unmuted and that becomes a problem, then we will remove you. Also, the chat is used, is available for you to use but not abuse. So if I get any reports that anyone's being abusive in the chat, you will also be 86 and gone from the room and not allowed back in. So let's just be professional. Let's have a good time. Let's support and encourage these authors as they're launching their books. I am very, very excited. There's five. Zachary's book is en route. It should be here probably tomorrow or Tuesday. I have five so far that have arrived already. I'm so, so excited. So when I bring them up, I'll flash their book on the screen because that's so exciting. And the rest of them are on their way. Very excited. Well, most of the rest of them are on their way. So we're very excited to be rounding out the 2024 debut poets. All right. Any questions before we start? I'm going to draw and we're just going to go. It's a blind draw and it's the most fun way, I think, to keep you all on your toes also. And if you have not gone, you can buy all 10 of these books online at the Red or Green Books shop and get those. Also, the New Mexico Poetry Summit is coming up here in Albuquerque, New Mexico in September. I know there's a bunch of poets coming here to New Mexico to hang out with us. So if you would like to do that, the tickets are on sale on the website as well. The first poet to read today is the one and only Quinn Collard. And I'm so, so excited. I finished up that thing you asked me to finish up. I will send it to you right after this. So we are totally good on that. Quinn's book is en route. So I don't have it, unfortunately, to show you today, but she'll tell you. So poets, when you come up for your time today, please give a little bit of information about who you are, where you're from, where people can find you, follow you on social media, as well as where they can buy your book. Since we will be posting this video at a later time, we want to make sure people can still buy the book even after today. So Quinn, I'm going to spotlight you, my friend, and let you talk about your book and all that wonderful stuff. There you go.
Yay. Thank you, Marissa. Very, very exciting to be first. So hi, I'm Quinn Collard. I live in Seattle. Thrilled about this book. You can order copies and find other updates at my slick new pro author site, quinncollard.com. It's still working on fully blossoming into its slick proness, but you can order the book there. more to come. I am also Typewritten Girl on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for some updates there. My book is titled And Shatter Me with Dawn, which is a line from one of my favorites poets and one of my biggest influences, Emily Dickinson. Um, Going to be doing a little shout out to another fave in my set I'm reading today. Uh, and also, um, thanks for coming, Elizabeth, who made my beautiful, beautiful cover art for this book. That is a big part of why I'm very excited to start getting it out to people. Uh, and so my book is roughly themed around each season. So today I will be reading two poems for each of those seasons. I'm starting with summertime because it feels very summery and sunshiny and lovely here in Seattle today. And I have to hold that as tightly as I can because it will slip away all too soon. Um, this first one is called Absolutes, and it's about a park in my neighborhood. Cal Anderson Park, Monday afternoon. A man in an incongruent green suit, strolling in the muddy grass and clutching a radio in both worn hands. Science exists because it turns out there are absolutes in the universe. Undeniable, but the absolutes are greatly outnumbered by the towering stack of fuzzy, undefinable bits of ephemera, out of rhythm hearts, and 2 a.m. vigils. This one is called Sweetness of the First Time in My Life is So Much. Uh, I am not in the night sky, and time is still spinning. The sunflowers are turning into ghosts. Late August is a blurring watercolor painting. The sun is already slipping from the sky sooner. Strawberries and cream and thoughts that always return home. Um, moving into autumn here. The idea of romance. Fingertips stained with huckleberries, ears echoing with crooning, skin losing its golden glow as the sun tucks herself into bed. Now, only dusky shadows, ghostly fingers clutching my own. This one is called The Heart That Fed, and here's my promised other shout out. The title for this one comes from Ozymandias by Percy Shelley, and today happens to be Percy's birthday. So I thought, oh, I had to include this one as a little tribute to Percy and all the wonderful romantics at large. The Heart That Fed. The hall holds once triumphant monuments to rosebud loves, echoing footsteps, dim amber light, the smooth chill of marble against the palm. And now we're moving into winter. It's a very sped up globe right now. We're just going through all the seasons. This one's called the Snow Queen. My hair is icicles of electric blue white, and my eyes are amber fire. The touch of the tips of my fingers turns an elm tree to a shining silver creature of ice and memory. The soft white blanket I spread is the chance to begin again. This one is called The Angels of Distress. Their skin is nearly silver and pale as a ghost. Their hair cascades down their backs, thick and black and streaked with lightning. They are singing just below the threshold of hearing. Their eyes are ever shining. Their eyes are eternally fixed on the skies, searching for signs. And now we're going to wrap up with springtime. This one's called Pink Roses. The world contracts and then explodes. Pink roses grow out of the ashes. The heart contracts and then explodes. Pink roses grow out of the blood. And this last one here is called Crayola. 96 sharpened shades nestled in their box like baby birds, preparing to take flight and color the blank page sky with their outspread wings. And that's what I've got for today. Again, my book is called And Shatter Me with Dawn. And in addition to, of course, the Red or Green Book sites, you can also grab a copy at quinncollard.com. Thanks, everyone.
I love it. Let's go. Y'all are welcome to unmute your mics and give it up for Quinn today as she wraps up her reading. Thank you so much, Quinn. And I'm so glad Elizabeth Oots is here. I couldn't imagine pairing two people better together to do the artwork for Quinn's book, and it is just lovely. And Elizabeth is lovely. I got to meet her in Charlotte. So glad you're here, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, Elizabeth Oots is a debut poet, right? So this is again, part of the debut poets pouring into debut poets. I see a bunch of poets in the room who were debut poets, just like you and Laura and Edward. Shaki's here, Terry Rose is here. There's a bunch of poets who have been through the Red or Green bookstores. Ms. Zaney is in the room. Oh, good, and welcome Zach. I see Zach's here. I see Amanda's here. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead. If you're just joining us, poets, we're blind drawing today for the order. It is the cup of destiny, right? The cup of destiny. Someone said that to me at a slam. They said it was the cup of they didn't say destiny. I think it was Stephanie said it from the Verb Bender Slam team. She says the cup of doom or something, and I was like, don't say doom, let's say destiny. But yeah, so the cup of destiny is here. If you would like to read more about Quinn and her book, just go to the website. The reviews are up there. Next up, we have the one and only Laura Lilas up. She's gonna be here in New Mexico, you guys. She's coming to perform with the Tesoro VIP champagne show here in Albuquerque for the New Mexico Poetry Summit. I see that Mama Teresa Galleon is in the room. She's also Tesoro. Shaki G will be here. She's part of Tesoro. Poet Rose Gold is part of Tesoro. Kelly Mary McAllister is as well. The lineup goes on and on, so y'all need to get here so you can meet these poets that you're listening to over these past couple months. Laura, let me go ahead and spotlight you, my friend, and take it away.
Thank you so much, Marissa, and thank you everybody else that's here, all the poets. Elizabeth, too, she was also my cover artist, and I am so grateful for her. Apart from that, so my book is called Becoming Forever Changing Leaves. This has been an accumulation of artwork, video, voice recorded overs that I had just spontaneously done while I was driving around Texas, and poetry, written poetry for the past 20 years. So in my editing portion of all of it, it was really hard. It was like I was editing it with one eye because I was like, I don't want to look at it, but it was just so moving to see my journey and seeing that reality coming true and actually putting it all together in a book. So I'm so grateful, and so grateful for your patience, Marissa. You've been working so hard with me. I do want to start off with a little bit of my book themes, because I did separate it into 3 different themes. It starts off with introspection, and then the second theme is love, and then the third is extroversion. So it goes into like this whole journey from inwards to figuring out what love is. I mean, that's such a global thing that we're all trying to figure out in life. And then extroversion, how I've been able to live with everything. So yeah, there's that. And I liked how I was able to put like little preludes to before the chapters start. So I really like that. I kind of want to touch on those today. So I can start off with those a little bit. With my first prelude to introversion, that one goes into stay organized in your chaos. While in the middle of all of it, somehow after fidgeting and squirming in pain, I found out if I give myself enough time to sink into my skin while listening for the silence around me and accepting and just being, I soon got to notice it takes a lot of work with what seems like doing nothing at all. So that's how one starts off. And I want to read a little poem from that first section that I have going on. This one's titled Open Window. I woke up past noon and pissed off. I decided to try to journal out what was upsetting within me, but I ended up pushing down my pen into my notebook paper until the tip of the pen bent in and the ink ran everywhere. I stopped and cried until I got tired of crying and drifted off back to sleep. I felt a rage similar to this before, a rage that didn't let me sit still. So I jumped into my car, drove until I hit a long road that turned into a highway that led to dirt roads with no ends. Another time, an early memory I have of myself, young and alone, sitting in my childhood living room couch, I saw a breeze coming in from the open window across the room and followed it until it touched my skin with its heat. As the curtain fluttered without control, the calmness flushed over me, feeling a comfort, an eerie stillness, as if I knew I was not alone anymore, as if my ancestors came in with the breeze, and with all my innocence, this comforting, heated breeze confirmed to me I was not alone. I will never be alone. I remember feeling the pounding in my hands and looking to them and seeing clear that the blood that pumps within me carries a rage that has been passed on for God only knows for how long, and it will never leave me. So that's how we start off with the first part. So going to my second prelude. 2 is the love I accepted to receive. You've managed to have a hold over me that I don't think you understand how much of a big deal it is. I may forget what you said. I may forget what you did, but I will never forget how you made me feel. And the poem I want to read from that part is titled On a Blue Moon. It's not to ask of you anything you'd question. It's simply just admiring you picking up where I left off. You'd ask for a ride, and to your surprise, I say, send me the address and let me know when you're ready. No hesitation, no third degree. That's the love I have for you. I was always available, out of the blue, hole in there. And for my third little prelude that I have, this one's titled, One is Not the Loneliest Number. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. Sure. Let's even say I met the devil himself. I smiled to him and I even laughed at his plans until I got caught dangling upside down from his tight grip around my left ankle. At that moment, I found out even he is looking for some compassion. So I cried out to God, okay, I'm done here. You can take me away now. I'll keep my eyes closed until you do. Neither of them came for me. I spent enough time to merge in awareness of both. While spending all that time in it, my vision focused so profoundly and I saw past the veil. Then at that point, I had a choice to make. Do I continue to sit in this internal monologue? Or do I dare to go out into the world and speak about this experience? And from that one, there is a poem titled A Said. A said cheers to writer's block because without facing this challenge, I would never know my own strength to figure out how to start again. A said salute to depression because once I've accepted that I have tapped into those depths, I'll never be able to shake those out of my core. A said honorable mention to crippling anxiety that casts over the body, leaving the mind running pedal to the metal until I've managed to regain the first conscious breath that brings me back to myself and finding out I have yet some control after all. A sad praise to paranoia that doesn't shy away from setting off like Icarus, bound to burn in delusion, until I find that one comfort that makes everything quiet down and realize that everything is okay right now. A sad tribute to the want to give up, because I trembled from my knees only to find my toes to give another push to fight through it all and keep moving forward while still in pain. A sad round of applause to self-love being the most important action to cherish, yet is found the most difficult to master. And one more quick one from the third part of this book. How I stand as a warrior. Step on the icy floor as I am. Stand firm with all that has cut through me and around me. Those moments of pain, I remember, they caused such flaring agony. I've breathed through it before with great worry to great relief. I watched my body become resilient time and time again. I can be taken down, but it's short-lived since I evolve into a new apparatus every time I picked myself up. It's patience. I finally immersed myself into the same patience I've heard from my 8th grade teacher as he would randomly shout out, "Patience is a virtue," over and over again. It's also the fact that I'm able to see things repeat enough to know everything is temporary. And those are my pieces. You could find my book once it's going to print. You could find it on Reader Green or my IG. You can just send me a DM at LLAU48 or also on my Etsy shop. It's going to be Laura Lila. And yeah, I'm just so grateful, so excited for September.
Oh my gosh, right? Y'all can unmute your mics. Give it up for Laura, please, and her wonderful forthcoming book.
Great job.
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's keep going. All right. Like I said, if you all want to read more about these authors' bios, read the reviews on their book, check out their cover art, all of that is on the website, redorgreenbooks.com. All right, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here today. Next up, we got, Jeremy's not here. Jeremy's not here. Well, let me do a roll call. Jeremy, are you here? He could be here under a different name. Jeremy, are you here? All right, well, we're gonna keep moving. Let's keep going. Next up, Kelly Mary McAllister. Are you ready, Kelly? Let me find her. Where's she at? Hi. Oh, it's so good to see you. I can't wait to hear your reading today. Let me spotlight you, my friend, and take it away.
All right, to start, these glasses are not fake. They just look fake. They're real glasses. I am not wearing a filter. I just want to make that clear because everyone always asks me, are those real? They're real. I have very poor vision. I'm Kelly Mary McAllister. I'm a poet based out of Toronto. My book will be going to print in a very few short weeks. Finally got all those loose ends tied up and emailing them. My hair's not cut. It's just up. I was at a cottage for a week and I haven't washed it since, so it's like half full of bug spray and suntan and summer hair. We're going with summer hair. Um, my collection, Dead Weight, is a collection in three parts. So I'm going to read a few pieces, a combination of shorter ones and longer ones from each of the three sections. And we're going to start with the saddest ones and move towards the more empowering ones. So we end on a high note collectively. So to begin, we're going to start with the last section, which is called Dead Weight. Essentially, what it feels like to be mentally ill and physically disabled in a society that prioritizes health and ability. You feel like dead weight. So my first short one is called Sweet, Sweet Depression. Happiness tastes complex, weaving sweet highs with bitter lows, the groundedness of umami, the surprising burst of sour. Happiness is a full-bodied flavor. Depression tastes only sweet, too sweet, thick and cloying, a high fructose corn syrup that drowns out all other flavors. I eat and I eat and I eat, but I cannot taste anything except thin, sugary disappointment. That is Sweet, Sweet Depression. This is first name basis. I know sadness by his first name. Call. He feels quite at home here. It's like he never leaves at all. I tell him of my day to day. He points out details I have missed, like the way I sounded awkward or the faux pas that I let slip. He spoons with me at bedtime so he can whisper in my ear as I drift off to sleep beside him and I dream about my fears. I know sadness by his first name. He's my longest standing friend. I worry he'll be the only one left when I make it to the end. And another shorty that I felt like sharing, weather patterns. If mumbling rain erases sadness, then what will take its place? The rain has dried my tears of madness, but now I'm just an empty ache. Frozen clouds no more cry rain than empty souls do weep. My eyes are dry when numbness reigns. At peace, only in sleep. All right. This is a poem called Limp. Um, I'm going to give it no preamble. I was going to give it a preamble. I'm not going to. I'm just going to let the poem speak for itself. My rhythm is wrong. The 1 2 1 2 of my steps is messed. The second syllable stressed. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Those ands have a heft. I'm not deft enough to navigate it. They are a theft. So I sit. So still I may as well be stone. I get stoned and atone another mindless drone on her phone. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And the last from the third section, and then we will start getting more optimistic. Well, first we're gonna get sadder, then we'll get more optimistic. It's called Hunted. I feel like my depression is behind me. Not that I have overcome it. Climbed out of the hole, the living grave it digs for me, sapping all the color from reality until I'm ready to lie in it willingly. I feel like my depression is behind me like a predator. Heavy footfalls that echo my own, hot breath on the back of my neck that makes the soft hairs stand up in warning, the hackles of a wolf that only attacks itself. I've danced with depression for decades, a frantic paso doble as it stalked me around the dance floor, and I twirled, and I twisted, and I twined, gracefully eluding any prolonged hold. Sometimes I was dipped so low, I wondered at my ability to ever regain my feet. But momentum carried me through. If I never stopped moving, if I never stood still, I was safe. I danced through my life cursed like Anderson's red shoes, but all things take a toll, and now I'm paying my dues. I can't even walk properly, let alone dance. My very bones have betrayed me. The doctors can fix it, but won't, because of what I weigh, so for the time being I am easy prey who cannot run away. Lays about and while away the days, watching my life go astray, my mind in utter disarray, as I write these maudlin poems full of worthless cliches. My dance with depression is now a battle of wills, while my will is whittled away. I'm playing useless checkers against chess master skills. I'm tired of being mentally ill. and physically still, with pain that no pill can kill. I feel like my depression is behind me, closer than ever before, like a lover at my back, the probable winner of this war. I feel like my depression is behind me. I don't know what happens now. I feel like my depression is behind me. I'm so afraid to turn around. And that is the end of part 3, which brings us to part 2, which is the dead. I had a number of significant loss over a short period of time, and these are some of the words that I wrote for them. Starting from shortest to longest, a haiku called 5 weeks, 2 days. I went to text you. I got as far as hello. Another goodbye. Words fail. Breath swells, stutters, stops, chokes. Tears burst, cascade, parade, and fade. Bodies fold, bend, curl inward, shudder. Hands reach, rend, grasp, fall empty. Mouths open, inhale, hesitate. Words fail. And this piece is called 1 Week and was written for a very dear friend. It was Monday, technically, in the lost space between day and night when the day before and the day ahead mix and mingle with the clock and the calendar and the timestamps of all of our texts said Monday. It was late when you reached out, not for a hand or an ear, but simply a witness. Tuesday, you took your son to daycare, dropped him off the usual mix of relief and regret. You went to physio, rehabbed a knee that didn't work just right, that hadn't for a long time. Maybe some things don't ever heal. Maybe some things can never be fixed. I took a shower on Wednesday, the strike of water on my naked skin long overdue. Rivulets and rivers of clean water following the salt-crusted paths of the too many tears that leak from my eyes like a broken faucet. You had been taking cold showers, you told me, when I told you that I was finally clean. You knew how hard it is to wash the dirt off your body when the dirt in your mind sticks in the cracks and the crevices, the folds of your gray matter, and you can never scrub it out. You were taking cold showers, you said, these days. You ordered me bath bombs on Thursday, a box of bliss to be delivered after. Sweet scents and bright colors meant for warm baths, not your cold showers. I wrote you a poem. You said you loved it, that it was hard, but it was you. You read it to your therapist. I can't think of a higher compliment. On Friday, you texted to see how I was. I did not respond. Saturday, you got an MRI. For your knee, the part of you the doctors thought that maybe they could fix. It was something small, still significant, so you drove to Kitchener and got an MRI. You texted me that you'd get the results in about a week, 7 days, give or take. I didn't respond right away. I was napping, trying to shake the tentacles of the migraines I get during the periods where I can't stop sleeping. The cause and the cure are the same. I was asleep when you texted. I responded too late. Sunday, a February Sunday. February of short days, February of endless winter, Sunday, the Lord's Day, Sunday, the end of the week, Sunday, bittersweet Sunday, always under the cloud of what is to come. A February Sunday, dreary and dark and hopeless. You checked into a hotel. You never checked out. My text turned from blue to green, unread. And that brings us to my 2 more uplifting poems from part 1 of The Weight, which is essentially a chapter of poems or a section of poems about what it's like to move through the world as a fat woman, in a world that demands that we be thin and attractive at all costs. These are 2 of my punchier pieces from that one because I figured I've made you sad enough. Sorry, not sorry. The first one is called Just Do It. Exercise only works if it hurts. It's the pain that burns those calories. The internal combustion engine of the body is your suffering. Go harder. Tears should slide down your flushed cheeks. Salt mingling with salt, an alchemy of perspiration and pain that makes your pump more potent. You should feel no joy. If you feel a moment of joy, don't. Health is beauty. Beauty is pain. So pain must be health. There's no room for joy in health. You can find joy in joy when you've destroyed the fat, when you've earned it. You don't look like you've earned it yet. Food is only fuel, not a pleasure, not a pleasant experience, but a penance, a punishment. If it's good for you, it should taste like sand disintegrating in your mouth into tasteless particle pieces. If you're not hungry for this, then you're not really hungry, are you? If you cannot fit into your pants, if the buckle won't latch on your belt, you should buckle down, buck up, make yourself less, eat less, be less. No one will love you unless you fit into those pants. To buy a new pair is to admit defeat. To accept your features is fine. To accept a futile future is fat. To fool yourself into the fantasy that others don't see your flaws. You can't ever let them see your flaws, so close your jaws. Diet or you'll die of it. Roll the dice with the vice of it. Don't you know that the last one standing had the life most worth living? Don't you know that the trophy at the end of it all is the smallest coffin? Which is my favorite exit line of any poem I have ever written. I just feel like that one for me. It's my favorite one. And my final piece, and I want to thank you for being such a wonderful audience and my fellow poets for being so incredible. But this is my last piece called Look at Me, subtitled Obesity. Look at me. What do you see? My glasses, my hair, my humanity, or just the great bulk of me? Another fat poet with a poem about obesity. A cliche at this point, but realistically, it's almost as if the way we look affects the way you hear the things we say, so we have to say them repeatedly. It makes a sort of sense to me, this listening selectively, if you think the only cause of obesity is an inability to stop eating, just gluttony. If you think the majority of adults over 33 are simply lazy, or you don't understand the science behind diets being mostly self-defeating, that our bodies are designed to hold on to the energy we're eating. My mother treats my issues with food like an addiction, and in many ways I don't disagree. My relationship with food is complicated, admittedly, but the problem for me and so many like me is that an abstinence approach isn't possible. You see, if you had to face your addiction every day, multiple times just to survive, how strong would you be? How many times could you deny an overwhelming hunger before you just didn't try? They've put me on Ozempic. And now, for the very first time, I've heard the silence of the sated. See, there's something inside me that has never stopped screaming, that has never felt full, a biological keening for more and more and more. And though I know intellectually that I've probably had enough, my body has never agreed. If you asked me if I could eat, the answer was always yes, emphatically. The first time I could say no, could say honestly, I'm not hungry. Tears pricked my eyes because I had believed those lies that said the failure was wholly mine. But there is more to this problem than simple calorie lines or self-indulgent crimes. So I inject a drug into the flesh of my stomach, the part of me I am supposed to despise, that makes me nauseous frequently with side effects a bit scary. A few days of vomiting every week. Is this really more healthy? Or have I just signed up for another eating disorder, this one supervised medically? Really. But I need surgery that they won't give me until there is less of me, so I take my meds diligently, watch the weight slide off slowly while I deal with the demons hiding behind my now silent hunger. I'm not asking you to agree with me, though I'm grateful if you believe me. All I'm asking is to be treated with the dignity due every person inherently. Stop trying to hide me if you want to sleep with me. Don't deny me access to the places and spaces you get to go regularly. If I break my arm, just set the damn bone. Don't patronize me with talk of healthy eating while I'd sit there in agony. When strangers start hurling cruelty, speak up for me, because self-advocacy gets so very lonely. Don't agonize over my physical health at the cost of my mental well-being. Treat me holistically, because realistically, I will never be thin. I will never fit in. It is too late for me to achieve the kind of shape you think I should be in. If your concern is out of caring, then care about what is within. If you want me at your table, make some space for me to fit in, or recognize that my absence is your choice. It's your. And that brings me to the end of my set. I cede the floor back to the wonderful poets to follow.
Oh, let's go, Kelly Mary McAllister. Oh, you guys need to get her book.
Oh wait, I was supposed to tell you where to get it. I'll put the link in the chat.
Let me spotlight you. Tell folks where they can find you, follow you, and get your book.
Okay, I'll put the link in the chat. You can get it at my website, kellymarymcallister.ca, or of course through Red or Green Books. And I'll put my Insta handle, which is also my full three names, in the chat as well. And I look forward to connecting.
All right, and I'm so excited. So every year we nominate 6 poems for pushcart prizes. So for all of you, I mean, the most we're given as small publishing houses is 6. So we every year make sure that we do 6. If we can do 6 noms, we do 6 noms. So keep an eye out for the emails that will go out for the pushcart nominations, because it is volunteer based for the authors. And so the book has to be published in order for that to happen. And there is a due date, and pushcarts are only nominated in the year the book is published. So it is a very prestigious, very awesome thing. But there's a time crunch on that to keep in mind for those, who might be behind. Maybe that is a carrot to get you moving, because I want to make sure that we're getting at least 6 noms this year out for these incredible books. But yes, so Kelly Mary McAllister .com. It's kellymarymcallister.wordpress.com. If you go /store, you can get her there. And also go to the website, right? The Red or Green Books website has all of the bios, handles, links, and reviews for the book. All right, Lobos. This is our University of New Mexico Lobos. This is the blind draw. Dun, dun, dun. Amanda Wynn, Miss Lovely, Arizona. Are you here? You are up next. Let me
That's
find
me.
her.
That's
Let me
me.
find where did you go?
I'm here. You can't
Oh, there
see
you
me?
are. It switched you to my first page. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to spotlight you. 12, 15 minutes, more or less if you need, is no problem. And make sure you tell people where they can, about you, about your book, and where they can buy and pre-order your copy. And take it away. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Let me turn that fan off. It's so loud in here. Sorry. I'm in Arizona where hell comes from. My book is called Indelible Heart, and it's just a collective pieces of me, like good, bad, indifferent. It kind of just gets into a little bit of who I am as a person. I tell people all the time, if you read me, you'll know me. So this is kind of like an intro to that. And this is going to be the first piece in the book for a reason, right? Because we want to dive into who the poet is before, we want the perspective of the poet. We want to know where they're coming from so that we know what to look for. This is called Thoughts of Me. The ink of my pen, my uncried tears, unable to release in verbal form. Paper my soul to bear to the world hidden through the composition of my fractured novels. It's not that I don't want to share my feelings. It's that I don't like the feelings that I feel when they release them from my lips, the trembling, the welling up of tears, the reliving my fears again and again. It's not that I don't want to share my feelings. It's that I want my feelings to be understood in the way that I present them, not to be misconstrued, being viewed through the insecurities of the eyes who behold them. How you receive my words is imperative to your growth of your knowledge of me. Your perspective of my character falls on your ability to comprehend that which is revealed. So I'd like to be crystal clear about who I am, what I stand for, and how I feel. No preconceived ideas or what others think will do. Hold my hand tight and let me walk through your thoughts of me with you. You can find me curious, cautious, and sometimes bewildered at the way the human mind, spirit, body interact with one another, how we function, communicate, and evolve. You will find my heart broken, sad, and lonely, crying on the floor alone, feeling the pain of those I have not yet had the opportunity to help, serve, or show love to, fighting the battle within myself of my own worthiness. You may find me full of joy and laughter, rejoicing and full of gratitude for the ability to feel and learn. Enamored every time I get to spend energy with those who reciprocate love and desire peace. Feeding humanity is a sight to behold and does something for your taste buds, or so I've been told. In the kitchen, I find my happy, a place where miracles happen by my own hands. To serve smiles, full bellies, while sharing herbs and making plans, you will find me in my head, running marathons, looking for solutions to life's biggest problems. You may wonder how long it will be until I sit still, settle down, or allow others to figure it out on their own. As you journey through your thoughts of me, I can hope you can also see the absolute longing to feel loved unconditionally, to be held like a child when my wounds heal, to be a thought in someone's day and a sparkle on the timeline of those I hold dear, not to be remembered for my greatness, but for the love I exhibited, not to be forgotten. Explore with love. Dig with grace. Never assume your loved ones are at peace because of the smile on their face. Allow them to paint the picture you may not see. Uncover your eyes of your own uncertainties. Take time, allow healing to begin. After all, getting to know someone never comes to an end, especially when it's you. Keep searching, you will find truth. The way you see others is merely a reflection. Be kind, love hard with gratitude and intention. Seek new results with new perspective. Find me waiting with my arms ready to receive. Thank you for going on this journey through your thoughts of me with you. After all, loving me is the same as loving you. Thank you, guys. Erica, thank you. So I'm just gonna keep going into a couple of different styles, right? It's different styles, it's different emotions. Thank you, Dee. I love you, girl. Some of the things can be, thought of as spiritual or deeper or political or, love, romance. So I don't have like a section for each. It's kind of just the feelings that I'm feeling when they feel them. That's the order in which you're going to receive them the same way that I do, right? So this is called choices. It's hard to conceptualize creation while sorting out the pressures of society in my mind. Such pressure to move to the narrative of others, to become something you can't even identify with, just to say you made it. Made it where? In the same rat race with the same chains that bind every human to the knowledge that shaped them, living blindly in how deep our oppression really goes, shackled to the dream that was spoon-fed to us by the way they manipulated our minds. We know nothing. Our information from the beginning of time is only regurgitated documentation of the perspectives of who lived it. Truth is relative. Truth is in our DNA. The information is already in us. Our history matters. How we document our perspective matters. Let them be bold in their findings. We were taught that patience comes from trials. It comes from relationship, comes from connection. It comes from expansion of our views by sharing our lives openly, comes from compassion, from new perspective without limitations. I choose to write freedom, document my heart, leave notes of encouragement and light. I choose to show vulnerability, choose to teach that our emotions are not to be feared, yet utilized as a guide to self-realization, that peace only comes when we are peaceful. Our conflict is not of those being controlled, but that they don't know. How will you shape the minds of who read your stories? How will they find your heart? What knowledge are you leaving in their lap? Tools for survival? What joy really feels like? How love is not the problem. We are accountable for what we impart into one another. And I choose to impart love. Thank you. I'll take you into another realm. This is probably one of the first poems that I wrote that I was like, okay, I think I want to write a book. I want to write something that I can document, because when you start taking yourself down another journey, you're like, whether it's for everyone else, but for me, just to have it on paper, to have something to leave as a legacy was really important to me. When two gods meet. His smile is the light of 100 suns, illuminating their universe. His voice carries the power of nations. His body strong enough to conquer wars, yet hands gentle enough to serve his queen. Her embrace serves his spirit peace. Her voice, sorry. Her voice brings joy to his soul. The comfort of her presence allows him to serve his purpose without reservation. Her spirit heals nations. Covering the nations, he protects in love. Peaceful and bold, they unite. They create a power that is unattainable to the natural mind. When two gods meet, not only souls and spirits, but universes collide. His caress soothes me. The power of his touch immediately penetrates my soul. Any reservation of fear released in his presence. Slowly kissing my neck up to my lips, sliding inside me while I stare into his eyes. My head drops back and my eyes close. I feel his power enter into my temple. Slowly stroking and removing every insecurity through the release of every fluid in my body, I shake. Touched by a god, my body falls into submission, healing his heart and soothing his mind as he receives the comfort and love of this goddess. Powers align, removing us from this earthly realm, transcending into our own universe created just for us. When pleasure meets manifestation, filling every soul of our beings, heightened and caressed as sweat falls from my brow to his cheek, I cry out and grab the sheets. This is what it feels like when two gods meet. Okay. I know that especially when you're more outspoken about political things, when you have friends and groups of friends that are, they're not gonna just take things laying down, right? We're always gonna stand for what we believe in and stand for one another. We get labeled a certain way. When you are friends with people that don't look like you, and the people that look like you feel offended, we get labeled a certain way, right? And so this is called riffraff. The riffraff that I roll with, not your average gentleman. And ladies, we stand for something so as not to fall in the trap of everything but purpose. Upholding the heads of children we didn't bear while standing on the promise of ancestors long gone before there was breath in our being. We land somewhere between holy rollers and regulators, distributing karma to those who can't seem to keep their fucking hands to themselves. We protect and serve, handing out understanding they never ordered, chef special, just the right amount of everything needed to have them leaving the table with a belly full of knowledge and enough fuck around and find out to make sure the message is clear enough for personal growth. Just enough spice. Finding tribe one by one, standing in clarity. Back never not covered, walking in confidence, striving for a more peaceful atmosphere. Something that has to be fought for, never achieved without sacrifice. The riffraff that I roll with will love you profoundly, hold you close to the chest, feed you, provide for you, and keep you honest. But the riffraff that I roll with could never be you. I want to do two more. Okay. She was talking about depression, and I think like I've struggled with depression a really long time, but I also struggle with anxiety, right? And that's something I think I want to say is more of a societal norm these days than maybe before. We have different issues than we had previously. We connect differently to our communities than we used to. We don't have as much FaceTime for real, hand to hand, hugging, loving each other like we used to. Everything's so digital. And so there's more room for anxiety, more room for us to not connect with one another on a personal level. So this is called anxiety. Heart feeling expansive, as if it's going to explode, tightening with every breath. Heart beating so hard I can't feel the rest of my body. My mind so full I can't even hear the lyrics to the music, no matter how many times I listen. It's like listening into another realm. I lose sight of my day. All desire, yet no drive. What a waste. Death has brought a different kind of fear and anxiety to my existence. The kind that makes everything you are sure of to seem to have no value. When the time that you are sure of is your ability. No matter how tired, as long as you were strong enough, you could do anything, anytime, with nothing to stop you. The inability to do what you know can cause you to see the other abilities that you may not revere in the same capacity. Finding a small footing in a hopeless time and space to pinpoint the focus, the moment you realize your life is under your control, even though the world may not be. Allowing the anxiety to dissipate. As my breath releases my muscles to feel again, begin to hear the music. It brought me back to this realm. Okay, this is called pollination. Succulent. Like the brightest red bee balm, you drink of my nectar's rich blooms, discreet wings, gentle and swift, partaking in the marrow of me. Long beak dips into my heart of blossoms vibrant, stretching your deep tongue into the core of me, full of amazement and awe, savoring each droplet a work of art. Tastes like, yes, have some more, and please don't stop, like your favorite dessert, magnified as your taste buds dance in a prayer circle, summoning the rain to soak you in its glory, to be drenched in my flavor palette, vivacious and colorful, bold enough to make a leprechaun stop in his tracks. Never seen a rainbow quite like this before. Edible and divine, overflow of delight dripping down the thigh of my stem. Let it cascade into the garden where our souls intertwine, nurturing the descent of my existence, our sanctuary, a place of peace where being root bound doesn't seem to bother me. Something like a ritual played out for the rest of the world to see, so full of life and vigor, enamored with your movement, held captive by your poise. I cherish each visit, a melody complete with every encounter, every chance we get to meet. Humble hummingbird, I'll feed you as you pollinate me. This will be my last one. If I can find it. This is called life support. Hanging on to his every word as the dips and bows of his intellect rewrite the wrongs of my understanding. Vivid pictures painted in melodies you could taste. The texture of his tongue is sharp but smooth, whiskey-filled butterscotch. The way he packs his thoughts has a way of delivering one's soul of disbelief. The honesty of heartfelt, beyond the depths unrecognizable through the lens of stereotype he grew me. His word propagated the seeds in my garden I never knew were planted. The impartation that took place as he carefully pruned my limbs of self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Smells like freshly squeezed humility, nothing like drinking from your own vine. Out of this world and out of his mind, he must have been here before. This was not his first time. How can you hold knowledge so rare, so hidden in the realms never to have been touched before? Each twist a metaphor, each turn a braided meaning. How can you find him where syntax meets soul? With his pen, the trowel of imagination, turning my soul of silence, sowing fragments of feeling. In the fertile ground of my blank pages, roots deepening, finding room for expansion, etched in the earth, a pure delight. I never knew that I needed a gardener. I thought my land was barren. He brought my pen back to life. That's all I'm gonna read. So you guys can find the book, Miss Lovely AZ, on all social media. So there's the links on my social media, belovelyaz.com, on everything. You can go in there, purchase a perfume, purchase the book, and I'll be at the summit for sure in September.
Yes, let's go, Miss Lovely. Y'all unmute your mics. Give it up for Amanda Wynn today. Woo! So many people in this room coming to the summit in New Mexico. I'm so excited.
It's going to be packed.
Gonna be packed. It's gonna be so much fun. So yes, if you've not got your tickets for the 2024 New Mexico Poetry Summit, you have to come be here. I cannot express to you how amazing that 3-day show is going to be. The lineup is on the website. Please come and support these poets. And I cannot wait to take a picture of all the debut poets together and have the books out. Oh my God, I'm so freaking out. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, for real, it's going to. All right, let's keep going. Jeremy Hickson is in the room now. What's up, Jack? All right, we're blind drawing for the order of go today.
We love you, Jack.
We love you, Jack. All right, and okay, good. So no one is gone yet. Who I have a book for here? Look at that! The poet Rose Gold. Poet Rose Gold, you are up next. The poet Rose Gold's beautiful book. Poetry is the love language, but first, let me tell you something. Is out. It is just a sensational book. She's also a Tesoro woman who will be here at the New Mexico Poetry Summit. She will be performing at the main event as well as the VIP champagne show with the women of Tesoro. So let me find her and go ahead and spotlight her. Hi, Jennifer. Good as well. Oh my gosh. All right. And then, so Jeremy, so you're just joining us. It's a blind draw for order of go today. 12 to 15 minutes. If you need to know how much time you got, I'll let you know. And we'll just, we'll go. All right. Let's, here we go. Rose Gold, take it away.
Okay, so as you just saw, well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for the space and thank you for being here. So as you saw, the title of my book is Poetry is a Love Language, but first, let me tell you something. I believe that poetry is the 6th love language. Everybody's heard of the 5 love languages. Poetry is the 6th that not everybody's tongue has been anointed with. And poetry is a way of expressing yourself and reaching people in ways that you can in other platforms and in other formats. So poetry has always been my other language. So I do consider myself bilingual. That in some places that might not fly, but I honestly don't care. So the subtitle, but let me tell you something. This is part of our legacy. Anyone who has ever published a book or is about to publish a book and your words are going out into the atmosphere, either via verbally or on paper, that is your legacy. So when somebody picks up your book, provided it hasn't been banned, when somebody picks up your book 20, 30, 50 years from now, they will know what happened way back when. You are a griot, you are a storyteller. I am a storyteller. I am a truth sayer. And as Tesoro women, we're called, the other name we're called is fire singers. So, and don't ever let anyone douse your flame ever. As long as you are breathing, as long as there's breath in your lungs, don't let anyone douse your flame, no matter what level of poetry you are at. So This is my first baby, and I'm proud of it. I'm like one of those rappers that sells their CDs out the back of a truck. So that's that's how I've sold some of my books. So, all right, let's go. You have the right to spit fire. Anything you say can and will burn blasphemies to the ground. You have the right to live a life free from generational curses. If you cannot afford these yokes and burdens, feel free to leave them at the foot of the microphone. Let's go. Your complexion is not protection, subject to inspection. Others see and clutch their purses, run in other direction. Roll up windows upon detection, claim to hate the suggestion that worthy is our reflection. Yet at first glance, it inspires an erection. Heirs to America's original sin, but gaslight deflection. Guns and God affection, freedom for all, objection. Protecting children in schools, radio silent selection. Stripping women's rights, say it with your chest inflection. Poem. Okay, this piece is called Music to My Heart, Rhythm of the Divine. Your skin is glorious to the touch. All that musculature enshrouded in rich velveteen, it seems. Clothing would just be an insult. Sinewy and statuesque, like D'Angelo in that video. Bountiful blessings surround you. Every inch of your frame moves in declaratives that cover me like open mouth kisses. From the moment God poured breath into your lungs, you sang arias that rivaled an angel's chorale, welcoming saints to heaven's gate. Every note punctuated by the promises of unconditional devotion with the assurance that they will never return void. Your clarion call draws me nigh, translating what the heart speaks into interpretive dance. Each verse, an enchanting encounter with the stars, suspended in the night sky, bathing us in their luminescence. Your anatomy knows my love language. I speak softly, but love loud. You baptize me with peculiar tongues while I sing the praises of your Adonis. Our bodies produce works of art that would embarrass Michelangelo and Da Vinci, communicate lyrics of genius that should generate royalties every time they're played. I cry out exultation to the ancestors when you release hymns from your voice box. My refrain is a thank you for the time you took in perfecting your craft. Your words from the last verse still echo in my ears, while lips and fingertips transcribe to the next line. Replaying this serenade will be easy because I've committed this cantata to muscle memory. End. I'm not doing that one yet. One thing going into this, July was a very much up and down month for me because, at the beginning of the month, I lost a friend, as in she passed away. And then I went out of town for a convention, came back riding high off the heels of that convention. And then finding out about, the latest political news and everybody being re-energized and brought back to life, and then come crashing back down to earth with the murder of Sonia Massey. So say her name if you haven't already, Sonia Massey. I wrote this about 3 years ago after what happened to Breonna Taylor, and this is called I Resent Your Sleep. Will you sleep? Of course. How nice. I guess that's why I never heard a reaction from you. Should I be reminded that each time I see you, how the injustice system determined that drywall was more valuable than a Black woman's body? As you turn over, probably knocking all of the pillows onto the floor, just remember, Brianna was sleeping too, minding her business, sharing her space with only her man and her dreams. While you rest in comfort, counting sheep, I lay awake, again, mind racing faster and faster in an attempt to get away from the imagined trigger man I fear, whose rounds may one day find their way into the sanctity of my dwelling. Once again, the cold skin that wraps around your apathetic bones drives that train of indifference and derails on the tracks of my tears. Meanwhile, as you slumber, those of us imbued with you conducting buddy checks on one another, while we're all going around on social media DMs asking, "You all right?" Knowing good and hell well none of us are. But we must inquire to put our own minds at ease. It's going to be another long night. When you bed down for the evening, could you kindly remind your kinfolk to stop treating Black trauma like a spectator sport? It takes no energy or effort to deliver bedside commentary that reveals you have no clue as to how our movements are policed and how we're expected, if not forced, to shrink back and modify how we show up in the world. And when the rhetoric triggers your sensitivity, you rectify that with the flicker of your TV remote. Stop your othering and show me love by opening your mind instead of your mouth. Save for the acknowledging the fact that many of us repeatedly undergo the laborious task of hauling ourselves out of bed and facing a world that discards us like yesterday's newspaper over and over and over again. Will you sleep? Of course. How nice. And Jesus. Okay. This poem was brought to you by the letter P. Pardon this interruption. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Newsflash, our planet is in peril. Perplexed? Ponder living in a perpetual state of panic, previewed as prey, by persons who painstakingly pursued you as their favorite pastime. To them, it's a constant state of play, a simply puerile state of mind. Plainly put, their persistence pushes us to be persuaded by their perverted sense of pride. Thus, your pigmentation, a symbol of perfection, is in direct violation of Articles W, H, I, T, and E. While pelted by the media's projectile vomiting, promoting the practice of character assassination, pride pleads for them to pull you apart and peer into your soul that attempted to escape from your fetid corpse that they left hemorrhaging in the streets. Punished disproportionately in the classroom, trauma in the pre-K. Palpitations riddle the hearts of chocolate cherubs portrayed as pint-sized felons in waiting, pursuant to the school-to-prison pipeline. So you see, all is going according to plan. Yesterday was the day to start practicing your Huey P. Black Panther pistol grip. Today is not the day to lose your religion, but to start planning insurrection and revolt and to purge patriarchy like the pussies you were plucked from at birth. The time is past for the peacemaker. We no longer seek reconciliation from those who purloined our persons and property. Where is your passion? Did you use it all up for the pledge? Well, make a promise to your own self that you will not go quietly into the night, paralyzed into inaction by fear. Instead, pick up your pace. Pass me the mobile so we can record the furious styles of Millennium Revolution, pulsating at a fevered pitch. Then pause for effect. And that one line, start planning insurrection and revolt. I wrote that poem back in 2020. And when the January 6th insurrection took place, I said, oh, I wish I hadn't written that line because I don't want it to liken them to, that, but, take it as you will. Another thing about this book is that the way they're placed in the book, it's over 21 years of just thought, of feeling, of writing, of whatever. So it spans from 2001 to 2022. And this is one of the pieces I wrote in 2022. This is actually the last piece in the book. It is called How to Be Reminded You're a Woman in 30 Lines or Less. Number 1, smile. It can't be that bad. Number 2, how come you're not married? What's wrong with you? Number 3, he likes you, therefore believes you are obligated to like him back. Number 4, well, you don't, so suddenly you got an attitude. Number 5, your confidence and assertiveness are mislabeled as aggressive or rude, whereas if you had a dangling participle, you would be regarded as, wait, what's this? Confident and assertive. Number 6, you arrive at a new duty station, immediately feel like someone sounded the fresh meat, new booty alarm. Number 7, you ain't got no man, so you must be gay. Number 8, your name is. Number 9, calm down. Number 10, males can make all songs all day about bees and hoes and videos featuring scantily clad females around them while sliding credit cards up and down a woman's crack, but someone does a song about their own bodily autonomy and praise of the power of their pussy, they are the devil incarnate. Number 11, a Starbucks barista sees your blue ID card and assumes your husband, your imaginary husband, is the service member, not you. Number 12, when 2 old men for some reason are irrationally impressed that you can combat park, i.e. back into a parking space. P.S. I can parallel park too. Number 13, you couldn't possibly be a veteran. Number 14, you're too pretty to be in the Army. Number 15, you shouldn't dress like that, you'll attract the men. Oh, sorry. You shouldn't dress like that, you'll distract the men. Number 16, well, what was she wearing? Number 17, and how much did she have to drink? Number 18, society measures your value based on whose arm you're hanging off of and how many children you bore him or not. Number 19, you shouldn't walk like that, you'll entice the men. Number 20, you're told in not so many words, you're better seen and not heard. Number 21, someone said respectability equals silence. Me grabs microphone. Number 2, women shouldn't be pastors. Number 23, why, he couldn't have done that to you. He's a model citizen. Number 24, laws are made to destroy any and all control you have over your own body. Number 25, your intelligence is viewed as being uppity. Number 26, your abilities, skill sets, and aforementioned intelligence are called into question. Number 27, you were told by a peer in another unit that they would not take orders from a woman should one be put in charge of him. Number 28, objectification / catcalling / harassment / assault are the order of the day and should be respected as a rite of passage or way of life. Number 29, another moron slides into your DMs. Block. Number 30, you can't fill in the blank. You're a woman. And might I add, number 31, this is dedicated to J.D. Vance, childless cat lady. End.
Fuck yeah, let's go, Rose Gold! Sorry, I just got to throw that in there. Woo!
Okay. And I'll finish it off with the dedication poem. This is actually after the Miranda warning. This is the first poem dedicated to my dad who passed back in 2001. It's called Written in the Sky. Mine eyes have seen the passing of another sunset, giving way to successor twilight and its celestial pearls. I see you, Dad. You're a star now, illuminating the road to forever. Show me the way to Alpha and Omega. This world is lonely. Daddy's little girl is merely a big baby without her right arm. No one to curse our valiant boys in blue and orange. They traded Chris Childs the other day. There is no balance in my constitution as a fraction of my spirit left all time and space, cradled in the bosoms of cherubs. Emerald Isles saw Stevie's inner visions, amaretto hued, easy like Sunday morning. Danced like with the rubber band man, sallied forth through earth, wind, and fire, Florsheim shod, creased, cuff-linked, labored until the edge of night under the cloak of nocturnals. No need to look beyond the horizon to find you. Here is your success story. You didn't make it to the mountaintop, but through me, you'll reach the apex. So it is written. Okay, so screw the website. You can find my book either on redorgreenbooks.com or post my handles in the chat on Instagram, The Poet Rose Gold, and also on Facebook, The Poet Rose Gold. You can DM me if you would like to buy a copy. Also, if you're connected to me on my personal Facebook page, you could DM me there as well. So that's where you can catch it. So I'm The Poet Rose Gold. Continue to bloom. Thank you.
Let's go. Yes. Let's go. Rose gold. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Childless cat ladies. Child with cat. Child with cats ladies too. Like, let's go. Child and cats ladies. Let's go. Let's just go. Fuck that. Let's go. All right, we're blind drawing for today's reading. Like I said, if you would like to read more about these poets, their books, read about their bios, their reviews, their handles, all of those things are on the website. And the next poet up is Zachary Sakati. Zach, are you ready? A New Mexico poet. I'm so excited to be publishing Zach. Let me make sure. Let me see if he's ready. Zach, are you ready, Zach? I know it's like kind of my fancy schmancy cursive. Let me type it in the chat and see if he's ready. Zach, oh good, there he goes.
Yes. Sorry,
All right.
I'm helping people move.
You're fine.
I don't know why the hell I agreed to that, but here we are.
Because you're a nice guy, and it's a Sunday, so why not? I am not able to spotlight you, but I might be able to pin you. Let's see if that does not. It doesn't look like it does anything. But anyways, my friend, you are welcome to go and talk about your book and where people can. Oh, there you are. Hi. And then once I spotlight you, you can turn off your camera if you need, and it'll keep you spotlighted. But you're welcome to talk about yourself, your book, where people can find you, follow you, get your book, all that good stuff.
Very cool. So my name is Zachary Sukardi. My book is called Eves, a Collection. You can find it at redorgreenbooks.com. You can also, for the time being, find it on my Instagram, True Blue Podcast. I do a podcast where I talk about poetry, self-care, music. It gives me just a place to stay creative and have a voice. So again, it's True Blue Podcast. You can DM me for the time being, and I'll happily send you a book. Let's see here. Just so grateful to be expressing and creating. I really feel alive when I'm doing it. I really do. And I can feel like God is telling me, "Hey, you're in the right place." Like when I'm doing that. So, been writing poetry for a long time. This is a collection, mostly newer stuff, but some of the stuff is like when I first came out to New Mexico, and I'm originally from New Jersey. So, just happy to have it out here soon where I can have something tangible. You just can't beat a book, the smell of it, the feel of it, and just something about seeing your name in print and something about seeing something that you created like come alive is just amazing. It's like one of the best feelings, at least that I've experienced in my 40 something years. So, and a lot of my poetry is about vulnerability, depression, love, trauma, uh, loneliness. There's a lot of humor in it. I find humor is what saves me in like a lot of areas in life. So it shows in my poetry and just like observations, things that I notice or feelings or emotions that have stayed with me in time and have come out in my poetry. So I called it Eves because in my house in New Jersey, we had this little attic section where we kept all of our like holiday stuff, and my older brother had these really cool Star Wars toys. And it was such a like mysterious part of our house. And when you're a kid, you're sort of interested in any little nook and cranny in your house where you could sort of find yourself or hide or kind of make your own. So once a year, we would pull all the stuff out of the eaves, and it would just be kind of like just like a fun little thing. It was almost just like kind of like Christmas in a way. Not as exciting, obviously, you know, you didn't open gifts and stuff, but they were just things from our past in there. And it just really kind of stuck with me throughout my life, the eaves. So the idea here is I've been trying to put out a book, trying to express myself, and I'm finally pulling things out of the eaves and sharing it with the world. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Uh, Let me see if I can pull up my Word doc here and I'll read some poems. Mhm, mhm. So this one is called Night Gallery. Supermoon is caught up in the tree again. Violate the terms and conditions and smear passion all over me. A song I didn't choose but plays like I did. A love I couldn't lose but feels like a win. The conclusion was always going to be to love yourself. All right, I'm going to read a couple of short poems. These are sort of like modern haiku. They don't follow the 575, but they're sort of bringing you into the moment, brief observations, things I've seen and felt, experienced. Headlights drive by, taillights drive away, going somewhere. Hummingbird flies quickly to and from the empty feeder. School of ducks circle the moat, round and round. Sitting by the door, cool breeze, those coming, those going. Sad clown outside his makeup, still sad. Forgotten notebook at your desk, the last day of school. Escape the days, a song away, the piano plays. Too busy to notice a butterfly, too macho to write about it, understanding a brick wall. Today by the sea, I found nothing to read. Today by the sea. That one I love because when I was down at the Jersey Shore, I was just like, after being here in New Mexico, and things are, you know, really spread out, but just something about going to the ocean after all these years and just looking out and just not seeing a damn thing but the ocean, the sky. There were no signs, there was nothing to read, there was nothing to sort of take in, you know, that I couldn't just sort of lose myself in. So that's kind of where that poem comes from, where I found nothing to read. Thank God, it was just me and nature. October sparrow flies into my notebook for me to remember. Albuquerque sunset, my camera, no justice. Small talk and exit wounds. Endings are just slow beginnings. Russian girl once told me I looked like her father in his youth. I smiled. She laughed. What a small world. This one is called Sometimes. Sometimes I weep too much. Sometimes I feel too much. But I'll be okay because most times I laugh enough. This one is called Movers. I'll finish with this one. I just want to say thanks everyone for tuning in, for supporting, and for showing up, being vulnerable, expressing yourself. We definitely need more of this. Like the more I do this, the more I'm like, all right, yes, this is it. This is it. Be vulnerable, be yourself, speak your mind, you know? So props to everyone for doing that, representing. Okay, this one is called Movers. It depends on the pens. Tune your radio to your favorite AM in the PM, so by morning, your shoulders will trick you into thinking you're growing, not aging. So I beg you to take my somewhere used, somewhere new. I hear the islands are nice this time of year. I'll even ride with the goats. When I soon arrive, I'll lay across, finding myself fishing for worms in a pond. Lions of the sea, come chase me. Owls of the moon, leaving so soon. Thank you, everybody.
Let's go. Zachary Sakati. Zach, do you want to say one more time where people can find you, follow you, get your book?
Yes, yes, thank you. You can find me at True Blue Podcast on Instagram, just how it sounds, True Blue Podcast. You can send me a DM. I'll happily send you a book. And you can also find it at redorgreenbooks.com. Thanks, everybody.
All right, let's go. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have two local New Mexico authors on this book launch. It's just very exciting. And we only have two more poets to go today. Edward or Jeremy are up. Let's see. Edward! We got Edward Galt. You are up now. I have Edward's amazing book, Airhead, and other poems. It is a lovely, wonderful, wonderful book. Like I said, if you would like to read up on any of these authors, their bios, their handles, read the reviews on their books, they're all up on the website. So, Edward, thank you for being so patient. Let me go ahead and spotlight you, sir, which means Jeremy Hickson, you're going to be next. 12 to 15 minutes, or more or less, whichever you all prefer, but let me know and I'll keep track of the time for you. So, Edward, there you go, my friend. Take it away. Wait, Edward, you're still muted, though. You have to unmute, my friend. There we go.
There we go. All right. Well, I live in Boston. I write out of Boston. I've been writing now for about 40 years. And so this is kind of the culmination of a lifetime's work, and hopefully not the last book either. This is kind of a collection of a range of different genres: humor, political, in some cases horror. I think I only have one of those, maybe two of them. Anyway, it is again called Airhead and Other Poems. And the first one, well, first of all, you can reach me at, you can buy my books at the moment. You can contact me through Facebook or PayPal. I'm at Edward Galt, or at Edward Galt on PayPal. And I'll put that in the chat section a little after I read here. And again, Facebook or PayPal so far. And this first one is, I'll read the title poem, Airhead. Then I'll go into some I haven't read. This, if you like The Far Side, this may remind you a little bit of The Far Side. Remember those Far Side boxes in the 80s? This is a bit like that genre of humor. Kind of a little out there. Called Airhead, A Summer on Joe's Porch. Does anyone remember Joe the Plumber? Yeah, that's from, I think, around 2012. He questioned Obama about whether it was fair he should be taxed. Anyway, I grew up with a lot of people like Joe the Plumber. Where I lived in Kansas City and the Midwest in general, they were all like Joe the Plumber. Anyway, this is a bit like that. Although I wasn't thinking of Joe the Plumber specifically when I wrote this. I was just thinking back to my childhood. This is called Airhead, A Summer on Joe's Porch, 1969. Mike would go over to his brother Joe's house every Sunday afternoon and eat dinner with his family. In the summer, they would eat out on the porch. It was probably the one halfway decent meal Mike got to eat all week. When he arrived that hot August day, Joe's wife, Alice, was seated in a lawn chair at a little table with a cutting board and colander. She would take the green beans and snow peas from a pocket in her apron, cut them up, and put them into the colander for washing. When she saw Mike coming up the steps, she called for Joe to come down, then gathered her project and went into the house. The roast was almost done. All she had to do was boil the greens. It wouldn't be long now. Mike and Joe would sit on the porch swing, Joe explained that his son Alex would be late. He was at a friend's house playing street hockey. He might even stay there and have supper. He explained that it was fine for Alex to be into sports and all that, but he was not keeping his grades up. He got a C minus on his last geometry quiz. At that point, Alice came onto the porch with Mike's supper tray and put it in his lap. She said she always tried to get the boy seated at the kitchen table for his homework each day immediately as he came in the door from school. But keeping his mind on the task was a different subject. He daydreamed a lot, she said as she left to get Joe's tray. Joe said he simply did not want the boy to become an airhead. Mike said that he didn't think that would happen. Alex was a good kid. Joe said it wasn't enough to be a good kid. You had to have a diploma at least. He didn't work his butt off at the factory just to have a screw-up kid. Again, Mike assured Joe that Alex wouldn't be an airhead. Joe wasn't sure. His wife brought in their trays, and they began to eat. Joe went on to other subjects. He was glad that Nixon had won. That would show the damn liberals a thing or two. They weren't going to dig into his pocket for every one of their harebrained schemes. Now they would blow the hell out of the Viet Cong, show those radical hippies they were wrong. Mike tried to listen, but he was having a hard time keeping his tray on his lap. It kept wobbling around on him. It was hard enough when you had to chase the peas around the plate. Wobbly trays made it impossible. Joe kept talking about what a damn liberal Nixon was probably going to turn out to be. He said, just wait and see. He seemed to not notice Mike's tray. If he did, it didn't seem to faze him. It happened all the time. Finally, Mike couldn't hold it down anymore, and it flipped out of his grasp. The glass shattered. The milk itself slithered across the floorboards, followed by the tray, plate, and meal. They descended the steps, scurried down the walkway, and turned right onto the sidewalk. They ran for several blocks, passing several people who didn't care or even seemed to notice. If so, they didn't stare. This was the city. It happened all the time. Finally, after several more blocks, the roast, mashed potatoes, green beans, and peas all came to a stop and rested. The milk had gotten there ahead and was waiting for them. You know, it said to the group as they all caught their breath, I think the kid's going to be an airhead. Okay, so that was Airhead. Now, I was reminded by the poet Rose Gold about Sonia Massey, and I do kind of have a poem, I think, that might get into some of the issues surrounding that. Sorry for that camera angle. It's a little wobbly. I'm holding a phone, so I'm sorry if it's a little shaky. This one is called Flicker. I call it my Stephen King poem. One night, years ago, I had a dream. I was walking along a narrow path. It had been abandoned, stones were strewn about, and thorny branches arched across the way. As darkness descended upon me, it hovered like a pall, so black I could barely see my hand or discern the outlines of trees. I frequently tripped or fell, and it was humid. Heat bore down. Any other night would have offered the comfort of a breeze. I could feel the tension, the steady rise of apprehension and fear. Lost, I wandered for hours in this wilderness of Zen. Finally, I saw a spark in the distance. It flickered like a lantern. In no hurry, I settled down to rest, aching body and sweat pouring. It was a beacon of hope as it flickered on, at least a constant. I reflected upon a myth a colleague had discussed, in which the fallen angels, denied bodies in paradise, scoured the surface of the temporal realm in search of carcasses, human or animal, to patch together. I resumed my walk toward the flicker until it became a campfire. It was then I heard the scream, cutting through the pall of night. A man was sobbing, wrenching. A gunshot pounded through the air. Then there was a long silence. I could not move. My feet were welded to the ground, and piss ran down my calf. The fire crackled on, and the reverie broke. I inched toward the clearing. Now the heat and the stench were one. I could see a man lying by the fire, eyes gouged, teeth kicked in, head half blown away. 3 robed figures looked down upon their magnum opus. The unholy had come to collect. I felt my face drop as 2 of them removed their hoods to reveal the rotted heads of canine corpses, all stitched together. Their eyes, as black marbles, gazed over with a dull, opaque film. Sensing that I had overstayed my welcome in this den of hell, I tried to position back. Leaves rustled, twigs cracked. One of those things turned its good eye to me and raised its shotgun. I darted through the forest, out through the field, and onto a dirt road. It was by now pitch black. I could hear the approaching hoofbeats. I looked back to see the figures, now on horseback, bearing torches. I ran down the road and saw out of the corner of my eye a burning cross. So, yeah, that was a dream I had back in 1984. It was the end of exam week. I was catching up on sleep, and I can only say that as you are catching up on sleep, and it gets into the near the end. I think I was on a 23-hour stretch of catching up on sleep, and the dreams get weirder and weirder as you go on. So bear that in mind if you're pulling an all-nighter. This one is called To the Would-Be Plagiarist. I think you might enjoy this one. Sir, if I could speak to you about that paper you found, on it you may have noticed a poem with no byline. That was because it was a work copy. I didn't mean for it to get published like that. I wanted to revise it before I sent it out. Instead, I lost it. At least that copy. So read it, snicker, then tear it up and throw it away. That way we both win. Now, yes, I did say it was only a copy. Since there is no name on it, you don't know who I am. For all you know, I could be famous, or the poem could be famous, and have been taught in the school for years, for all you know. And you really don't know, now do you? So think about that before you send it or email it, any place with your name on it. There is a very good chance that you will be caught. No one is immune. Some big names have been caught. There are people out there looking out for this all the time. It's what they do, and they're good at it. If you're going to do something with it, make damn well certain that it looks a lot different than what you have, because that's crap. And I don't think you want to take credit for that anyway, now do you? And by the way, wouldn't it be a lot easier just to write your own damn poem than to put a lot of effort into camouflaging the fact that you stole mine? So just tear it up. Good. Throw the pieces in that barrel over there. Excellent. Now we both win. Thank you. How much time do I have? Do I have a little more time?
Yeah, you got absolutely. Yeah, you definitely have one more.
Okay. Excellent. Let's see what I have here. Okay. This one, I think, I'll be my last one. It'll be it's going to be in honor of November. November, I mean, November. Anyway, it's kind of my piece on the abortion issue. My only piece on that, I think. And it's called "I Know You Will Be Wonderful." Mom, I don't know what you've named me. I can sense that you don't feel good about me in some way. It's not the right time, is it? I surprised you, didn't I? I'm getting the sense from you that you're not ready to be my mother. You're very young, and it is too much. You and Dad need more time. I understand. I need you to know something. I don't feel well. Have the doctors told you something? Have they told you I might not make it? If you decide to be my mother, you would want me to be the very best I could be. I know things can't be perfect. There's no guarantee. I just want the best shot I could have. Is it safe out there? I want to make a difference to you and to others. On the other hand, I don't want to be hurt out there. I know you're worried about the world. There's a lot of fear. So if you're not ready, time's not right, let's just wait. I might come back, or you'll be a mother someday to another. I know you will be wonderful. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, let's go. Edward, would you like to tell people real quick? Let me re-spotlight you where they can get your book, where they can find you, follow you, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Again, you can probably reach me through Facebook. You can private message me, and I'll probably take you to PayPal. I'm at Edward Galt at Edward Galt, and you can. I'll put that in the chat box. And I also have a blog called Forest River Journal, and I'll try to get that set up there as well eventually. But so far, the best way to reach me is through Facebook. And you can also get the book at Red or Green Books. And by the way, too, I bought all of your books in a big package. So, you know.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited, right? That's an awesome thing. Thank you, Edward, for doing that. And I did email you. So let me know what you would like to do within the email that I just sent you. Okay, so Jeremy, just sit tight because we got Torn B. Torn B is up next. He is booked a lot today, and no wonder, because he has this glorious book out, and it is just a beautiful book, the Dark Muse Chronicles, Poetic Journey. It's the first book that went to print from the debut collection it's full of incredible artwork. If you remember when we did the book launch, it has all these really beautiful images in the book. So you would be lucky. You got to get all these books. So Edward, just imagine you got all these books coming to you. You can buy the full set, the full collection in one fell swoop on the website, and that way you don't have to pay for all of the shipping, especially because this is an international launch. So that is a wonderful thing that we do. So Torrin is going to come up now. So we're saying 10 to 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, whatever you want, Torrin. I know you're on a time crunch. You just let me know. I'll keep the time for you. Let people know where they can find you, follow you, how they can buy your book is really, really important, especially because they're going to see this back. Jeremy, just sit tight because you're next. Jeremy, you'll close us out. What a wonderful way to close us out today. Torrin, let me spotlight you, my friend, and go ahead and take it away.
All right, y'all. I'm super glad to be here. I'm actually at a poetry event, right as we speak. So it was my fault. I double booked. I'm doing too much. So, like she said, my book, The Dark Muse Chronicles, has been out for a while. I'm super proud of it. It's great. It's art. It's poetry, and it definitely came together just like I envisioned, and I really want to thank Marissa for working with me and getting it out in the time frame that I wanted. So I'm not gonna hold y'all too much today. Like I said, I'm literally at a poetry event, so I picked out a couple pieces. I just want to read real quick, and if you're interested, you can get the book from my website. It's taurinv.com, TAURINB.com. I got merch on there. It's all kinds of stuff on there. And also, if you want to get in touch with me, you can. My Instagram is just taurin.v on Instagram. So, okay, here we go. There was a time when I only had a taste for her, an insatiable hunger that easily defeated sound logic, banishing reason to a desolate destination, inhabited only by my doubts, leaving me to focus on wanting just one piece of her. So I dreamed of her out loud, using iridescent sentences that didn't seem to match her monochrome sentiments, confining the possibility of us to shades of gray, stymieing imaginations of kaleidoscopic kisses, muting vibrant distractions with transparent motivations, scribbled legibly in black and white, an ominous forecast that foretold the unpredictable storm yet to come. As I ignored overcast skies and tried to poke holes in foreboding clouds with beams of optimism that never quite made it to the other side. So I made love to the idea of her, but she gave birth to awkward silences that achieved sentience and destroyed the world I chose to imagine, forcing me to melt down our ironclad bond into the bars I used to imprison her essence in the realm of dreams deferred. I'm just going to show this next image. This is the next image for the next piece. She stared into my afterlife, orchestrating my resurrection, escorting me to the brink of everything, grasping my hand as she finger painted ripples in other dimensions, demonstrating the possibilities inherent in a weightless existence, verbalizing the ideology of the eternal, speaking in prophetic prose, recounting imagined conclusions to our incomplete epic, offering insightful explanations to our improbable bonds formed after a momentary glance that seemed to foreshadow infinity and the ascension of infatuated beings into a rapturous evermore. This is that's the end art for that piece. That's one of my favorites. Okay, I got two more for y'all. All of me was not enough. She was beholden only to her scars, the residuals of another life that damned us both, limiting the distance we could travel together, confining me to the wayside where I attempted to split atoms to reach the core of what she desired with explosive results. The aftermath of her absence, a nuclear winter that left me lonely, teeth chattering with a frozen mind suspended in time, recalling when she was church mouse quiet when queried about the substance of her love, left mush mouth, inarticulate in dialect spoken without duplicitous intent. Silence waved as a white flag after lackluster attempts to validate diluted words and bland statements failed. Non-apologies that feigned contrition, honestly trampled by an unruly crowd of uncomfortable facts, driving possibilities deep into the muck, hitting from tomorrow's hopes, all because she could not fathom she deserved love. All right, this is the last one I got for you. Her sighs were like a symphony of unvoiced opinions, elusive answers stranded behind curled lips, as bated breath searched for gaps in her deception, trying to enter the conversation unnoticed and meekly insinuate the unmistakably apparent. She was a strategic silent savant, adept at covertly conveying her confliction, convoluted conceptions leaking from her countenance, displaying darkened troops that doomed new dawns to premature graves. She was a conduit for chaos, an uneven entity that left my world unbalanced as she reveled in ambiguity, her undefined desires a north star that led to non-existence. She was everything and nothing, an incomplete sentence acknowledged but unsaid, the riddle that ran away. That's another. Okay. She was a. She used the illusion of choice as her plaything, casually coasting through the complexities of my unrequited love, making choices about my eternity in milliseconds, moving my motivations diagonally, redirecting my momentum towards her unharnessed eclectic energy, a force unexplained but worthy of awe. She was my destroyer and my redeemer, cursed and praised with a split tongue, an enigma unsolved who enshrouds answers and testimonies beneath non-responses to innocent inquiries, revelations bound by her unwillingness to release the honesties she keeps close to her bosom, whether existence remains a mystery unsolvable. That's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all for listening. Like I said, you can get with me at torrenv.com for the book or the merch. You get in touch with me on Instagram, torren.v. And yeah, appreciate y'all.
Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Thank you so much, Torren V, for rolling through today. And I know you got a lot going on. And when poets are so busy, they got to squeeze you in their schedule. That's when you know you're shaking and moving. I hope you get to come to New Mexico. That would be so awesome to be able to come here to the summit and experience all of this awesomeness. So many of the poets in the room today are going to be here in September. So if it doesn't work out this year, maybe another year, it would be awesome to meet you in person. But I'm so glad of all the things that are happening and moving and shaking for you. Like I said, for those who might be joining us, go to the website. You can read about the poets. You can read about the books. You can read the reviews. You can read the bios, get the handles, the links to everywhere you can follow them. All right, let's go. Last but certainly not least, oh my gosh, we have Jeremy Hickson's book is here. Philosophy and Ontology. I'm never going to say it right. Philosophy and ontology. Of course, it's separated out in the most wonderful way. And I cannot think of a better human being to wrap us up tonight than Jeremy. His book is wonderful, and it is. I say this every year. I'm like, it can't get better. There's no way that the launch this year could be better than last year. And every single year, just my whole world is shaken and rocked by these incredible authors. So I'm going to let him take the stage, but it is a beautiful, beautiful book. Rebecca Dressian is our cover artist who did the work for Jeremy. Rebecca also is the band leader for the Blame It on Rebecca band, which is opening for us at the summit. So it's very cool. They're an all woman, all queer band. So it's like there's so much love like within this community that we're creating at Red or Green Books to see Rebecca help Jeremy's cover come to life. It's just so much fun. So I thank you so much. Don't forget to tell people where they can find you, follow you, buy your book, all that good stuff. Let me spotlight you, my beautiful friend, and go ahead and take it over.
Okay, so I'll say it 3 times here, once now, once in the middle, and then once at the end. You can get my book at www.jackvaltrades.com, JACKVALTRADES.com, or you can Instagram me at Jack_Val_trades, and I will, we can figure it out there as well. I'm going to pop that into the chat actually here. So yeah. I've got a few poems picked out. My book is Philosophy and Ontology, broken into 4 sections. So the first section is all the love poems. The second section is, well, most of the love poems. The second section is like a little bit more thought-inducing, like esoteric kind of like prodding. The section Ont is kind of getting out into the world a little bit more, and then finishing up with ology, which is kind of a study of myself in relation to the world, kind of like final messages that I have to offer, and like re-examining, reinventing of self. Yeah. So here we go. First, I have a few of the love poems. We start off in the philo section. So yeah. It has been over an hour. Still you have yet to show. Nervous, dreadfully nervous, you never will walk through door, share kaleidoscope mind. Your mind more beautiful than any autumn forest canopy, than memory, dolphins bursting into sky with sun's beams. I long to see you, pull out your chair, smell, cork, sip, send bottle back because it most certainly will not please you, a drinker of sweet whites with a taste for gentle, soft-spoken things, much too bold. I sit as the second hand on my watch ticks away. I will sit here until closing time, when all the servers walk out, tips counted, hidden in their socks' elastics, until the manager leans close, how I wish you would, whispers, sir, I cannot wait any longer. The curbside has no closing time. I will sit day, night, hot, cold, rain, snow, certain the moment I got into my car, you would come running. Coffee stain on your shirt collar, buttons misaligned, huffing and puffing. I'm sorry it took me so long. But I would be gone. Then what? I will not take the chance of missing this moment, finally together enjoying the perfect glass, laughing over how long it took for this empty chair and heart to be filled. Poem. I see your tacky maps retacked with red lines, rerouting the days from here to someday. I hope we intersect, run conjoined down the coast, weave and wind, wend and bend together until we split. One heading west, one east, for travelers heading north, a fork, where they must choose your path or mine. But for us, heading south, roads combine, heading towards a warmer clime, find footprint divots on a sandy shore as one. I long to explore the roadside museums, your countryside, each marked by a hole punched in paper. My fingers graze engraved stones of this event or that, learning your person history. Shining a flashlight into darkest corners kept company. Cobwebs and mothballs, your mind. What roads yet lie ahead for you and me? What unplanned, unmapped adventures are destined? Are we? My fingers trace red lines, wondering where. Are you now? Poem. Treasured. I fear memory will fail when I wish to hold you how I once did. His hips and spine curved differently. My face met his neck, not the middle of your back. Legs didn't twist around mine like yours do. Feet pressed against hands holding mine, fingers forced between. Yes, I worry he's warped the way I would wrap my arm around. How I curled into your chest. Poem. And we finish off this philo section with this last one. Most of these are untitled. This is another one that's untitled. So here we go. All at once, backdrop drops, costumes up in flames. Makeup drips down faces, runs onto floor. Up in flames, backdrop, costumes, faces I knew. The lights, blinding. The performance of my life, this cast of characters, crowd of clowns, was only that, a show. What was behind, much darker than ever I could know. Surrounded by fire, fear, darkness spotlights me, blinding, casts shadows. Nothingness all around. I grasp for familiarity, an old hand, hairy-knuckled, leathery palmed, the hand of my father. The smell of my mother's hair, my brother's voice, my sister's embrace. Ah, Sishora, no resistance. Darkness fades, spotlights brighter, warmer, kinder on my eyes as I fall upward into the love of those who loved me first, best. Before I knew what love was, I felt it for them too. They smear faces with water, features unaffected, real. Solid they stand, surround me with the sound of I love you, no longer just noise, and I love them too. Poem. So that's it for the philo section. We move into Aunt, which is like a little bit more thinky. So we'll start off with this one. What is the price of my soul? If I draw it out with daintiest cursive or blow it up with bubble letters, pastiche it with pictures of everything I've ever done, create a comic life for myself. Is this the best we can do? I stop to breathe, crack the window. Cool air caressing skin, I am calm, connected. Recycled breath circulated through beast and plant, carrying it with it wisdom that all life is one. What is the price of seeing the world for what it is? Benjamins of bodies, ash for cash. The desire for control is not my soul. What is the price of all this? My peace or theirs? Poem. Yeah, so this is a good moment. Again, my book, www.jackvaltrades.com or at jack_val_trades on Instagram. Okay, here we go. So I also will say I feel so ungrounded and wild right now. I'm on day one of a two-week vacation. So I just like got to the shore and I'm like, what is happening out here? But like super happy to be reading for all of you. And thank you, Marissa, for all that you do. Thank you for the space. thank you for giving us a platform to show our talents. Thank you to all of the other writers out here doing your thing. It's so incredible to be a part of this launch with such other great writers. So I just wanted to take a moment to say that before we dive into this next one. Here we go. Another untitled one. What is this thought worth? Only the paper and pen I recorded on and with. The computer I will later use to type it. The time it takes to explore it. Is it worth a second thought? What is my time worth? A clock to see how much of it I've spent, wasted, copied, pasted, made for things, to see how much I have left. If I make more time, make a clock, make 10 clocks, is it worth more or less? Can I keep track? Will I ever know what all this is worth? And what of my body? Could you spend a sum of money one night, one day with me? I've been offered offensive little, for my body is all that I have that belongs entirely to me. Is it worth so little? My body, my time, my life, my thought, the next bargaining chip? Ban, temporary, safety, great, great things, a tick for all, things near and dear on a punch clock, a countdown, a calendar, numbered, days and time worth the thought. Are they worth less than me, less than a clock, a tick on a clock? What is this thought worth a life, time? Poem. Where do we go from here? We move from there into the aunt section. Yeah. This next poem is titled 9/11. They said they felt like paper. I don't really know how to explain it. It's different than running and hitting a wall. Yes, no, it's nothing like that at all. It's like I'm flying. Gliding through daylight appears from down there, I weightless. Paper, no care in the world. Then suddenly I breathe out, no air, so I hold my breath, all I have, and my mind goes blank. Concrete, eager to meet more than my feet. Poem. This next one is one of my more naturey poems, and I feel like nature comes in and out throughout, and I feel like it's a nice little thread that offers some relief from some heavier poems that I really didn't read today. But I hope that that's something that I've done well with this book, is create kind of a line of evolution that you can follow while also kind of having a little bit of some stuff that's a little bit lighter. Yeah. Oh no, this one is a naturey poem, but like a little bit less fun. So here we go into it. Untitled, again. Thin veneer of verdancy, each a someday victim. Patchwork leaves, paper mache, a shell, a casing. The promise within held, all is well. Step inside the delicate sculpture, slip between thinner than paper layers, a place where contents play, on voyeurism, unfold like so many blossoms on a branching stem, awaiting naught but the germ of your mind. See the promise, empty as light-polluted midnight stars, or Amazon liberated of trees, aware now of warehouses and wastelands, masked by ignorance and speed. Feel the power that comes and ponder the word. Unless. Poem. Yeah. So that's that one. Out of the aunt section into this ology, I think. Yeah, we're coming to the end. Sue. Sorry. Whoa. Yeah, we'll do this one. And if I have time for one more, I can squeeze out maybe the final poem in this book. Here we go. All our lives, minds scattered, pulled putty, a plaything. Our attention, not to mention our power, shattered, scattered a million ways to Sunday. Bring me not to that place, that sun, that day, but take me to church. Let me bask in rays infinite, radiating grace, pinpricked fractals of forever, packaged by the atmosphere for me to see, here and now, this room, puzzled by what any of this means, picking up, prizing, each apart, marvels, fulfilled moments past, fractured, fleeting, meeting insatiability, always swallowing, nothing lasts, be it gold or black or white. Abundance is now, fed by the future. Dreams, hopes, aspirations fuel the infinitesimal engine. This vessel, blessed, whole, entire, and yet a splinter in the larger, incomprehensible picture. Slow, long enough, fit into place, rest in patience, freedom, grace. All our lives, minds running, never at rest, in pieces. Rest in pieces, rest in peace is. Ankles deep in sleep, steeped up to my eyes in pixelated screens, stepped up to my mind, virtual reality. Rearranging, switching code, computer to visual art to verbal heart to vibrating vocals, music, locals, going postal, going global, stamped on my packaging, boot print branded now. Silenced voice had no say, ascribed labels. Call me what you will. Call me what you will. What is your will? I know mine. Listed out since I was 9, y'all were 11. Thousands of angels rained down from heaven up to the blue. Did they live up to our standards, golden, measured? Met with the concrete of this jungle, no net of vines, no social net, nodes, disconnected. We never met the fate we were meant for. I know my will. I know who is getting what when I leave, embraced finally to my crown by sleep. We all will rest in freedom. Then we can rest in peace. And this one's actually a little bit shorter. If I can squeeze in one more. Okay. So this is a tribute to my younger sister. So here we go. Titled Processing Love, More Fiction. Ooh. Let me have a drink of my high noon. Sorry, everyone. And a drink of my water. Oh my God. Okay. All right, here we go. Processing love, more fiction than fact. Where did she go? The little boy asked. 5 days ago, he turned 4. It seemed life was to promise her more. When he blew out the candles, he never knew his wish for her pain to end would fin like this. She's up in heaven, his mother said. She may be gone, but she's far from dead. and the concept sent reeling his tiny head. Decades mulling, decades pulling at every answer to get to knowing truth. It all comes clear as the end draws near for him. She was never gone. She was in the air. She was in the flowers. She was always there. She was in the rain and in the ocean, and in the love of every motion, of baking cakes just as five, far from whole but still alive, dancing and singing to skipping records, in every love stitch and patchwork checker. She is in the butterflies and in my hair. She is everything and everywhere. Poem. So that's my book, some of it at least, Philosophy Ontology. If you want to get the full thing, you can order it at www.jackvaltrades.com, JACKVALTRADES.com, or on Instagram at Jack_Val_trades. Perfect. With that flawless execution start to finish, I'm going to just take my bow. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca Dreskin. Thank you for, thank you, Red or Green Books. Thank you, Marissa Prada. Thank you, everyone who's ordered a book or, has supported me or even shown interest. It's like really inflates the ego, gets everything going. So thank you.
Is it tripping you out seeing your book on the screen now from other people holding it up?
Yeah, it's like a little bit wild that it's like out there and people are like, oh, I have a copy. And I'm like,
it's so awesome. It's a whole book. It's a whole real book, right? I mean, this is the whole point. This is the point, right? Is that people have your book. And for those who are still waiting for their books to arrive, just wait. Someone's going to be holding up your book to you in one of these readings. And it's just so wonderful. And thank you so much, Jeremy, for your contributions. And I'm so blessed to have you as part of this organization, but also as a friend. I mean, we all become friends. I think this goes way beyond the boundaries of business, because we actually care about what happens in the people and the stories and the message and the advocacy of what it is we're representing in books and literature. So this is so much more than just a business. This is a family. And so I'm so glad to have met you and honored to have published all of you on this launch. If you have not gotten your books yet, please go to the author's websites or wherever they have them to pre-order. If you would like to buy all 10 of the books in one collection, you're welcome to do that. Go to redorgreenbooks.com. Red, READ. You can buy all 10 of them in one place. Is an awesome opportunity to have you read some new poets you've perhaps never met before and never knew before this launch. To be able to read one another is an incredible thing. All right, but thank you all so very, very much. Don't forget, this month here in August, we have, and I should have pulled this up because I was thinking about this as I wanted to get this going. We have book club every month here at Red or Green Books. It's a volunteer-based book club. August, we have Quinn Collard and her book Shatter Me with Dawn. It is the third Sunday of the month here at Red or Green Books. September is a little different. Laura Lila is going to be our September book club person, but we're not going to do it the third Sunday because we have the New Mexico Poetry Summit happening. And so we cannot do both of those at the same time. If you have missed book club, you can go onto the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, and you can go and watch these authors in their interviews and hear full sets of poetry from folks over the last couple years. And everyone who's coming next is so exciting. Come September 13th, 14th, and 15th is the New Mexico Poetry Summit. Tickets are on sale. If you would like, and I'll plug it right now, the early bird tickets have expired for the main event on Saturday. But if you happen to be watching this live, you can use coupon code earlybird24, and that will get you a one-time ticket to the main event summit for $20 off. So that'll give you the early bird pricing if you would like the early bird pricing for Saturday. The tickets for Sunday for the VIP champagne show are on the website as well. They're $25, which is such a deal considering you have 11 women from Tesoro giving you an intimate reading and performance on that Sunday. If you've not got your tickets for the VIP champagne show, get your tickets. $25. You get refreshment, champagne, and you get to hear from the top 11 women in Tesoro. Let's go live in person. It is the best way to spend $25. I cannot convey to you how important it is to be here in September, to meet, interact with, and celebrate these amazing people who are going to be here. The lineup is on the website, so please do that. Then we also have The Word is Right. We have a bunch of shows, we have shows almost every day of the week at The Word is Right. We're going to be bringing American Graveyard Podcast live to The Word is Right. So if gun violence advocacy is at the heart of your nature, reach out to me and let me know. We are assembling our panels for the fall to take that anthology and go live with that. Also keep your ears to the ground, because we are going to be doing a call for a survivors anthology later this year, is my hope, for a book hopefully we can assemble next year. There's a lot of stuff in the works. If you'd like to get involved, if you would like to help, whether you want to help sponsor, you want to help support, you want to help do anything, please let us know. Reach out to me at Red or Green Books or at The Word is Right. Would be happy to do that for you. As far as the 2024 debut poets, this is your last online launch event. I'm so honored to have you. And I will give Sarah Doolittle's book a plug. She was unable to be here today, but her book Lungs is a really sensational book. She is another New Mexico poet. She lives here in Albuquerque. I've met her here in Albuquerque. She's read at my backyard open mic. So if you've not read her incredible book Lungs, I definitely encourage you to do so. Hopefully she'll come to the summit as well, and all of you from out of town will have a chance to meet her. Otherwise, peace and blessings, and thank you so much for supporting the 2024 debut poet launch here at Red or Green Books. We have a bunch of poets also who will be launching between then and now. Come September, hopefully we'll see you in September as well. Friday night, so it's September 13th, 14th, 15th. September 13th is a free event. It's a free open mic at Hollow Spirits, so come out. Whether or not you come to the main event or not, come out and show support and love and meet these poets in person. Let them, buy their books, sign them for you, all that wonderful stuff. I invite everyone to unmute your mics. I guess I could do that. Let's see. Invite all to unmute. I can't get more. Ask all to unmute. I will ask everyone to unmute and just give some love and support for everyone on this last book launch.
Yay! Hey,
We
everybody!
did it, y'all. We did it.
We did it! We got books! Oh, it's so exciting. All right, go to the website, get all of your information there. Peace and blessings. Thank you all so much, poets, for being on this journey with us this year. We'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful night. Bye, everyone.